Hello! I've been thinking. You and I have texted earlier today, so you know sort of where this started, which is not a beginning I'm necessarily going to put online. But you know where this started. So it got me thinking about self-care. And how hard of a balance it necessarily is. Because a lot of times, like it is for me, it at least looks like it should be on the basic level. Like, I make sure that I drink water, and I make sure that I'm eating, make sure that I'm at least getting some sleep. It's this thing that I do that I picked up from somewhere online, which is that, like, when my mental health is really bad, I have a tendency to almost treat myself like a sim. Like, I look at all those little bars and I try and fill up some of those bars. So, like, am I hungry? Fill up that bar. Hygiene, fill up that bar. Exercise, fill up that bar. Some sort of creative or intellectual aspect, fill up that bar. So, like, in doing that, I can treat it at a very basic level. So I don't really have to think about trying to understand what's going on. Because half the time you can't. Like, I get anxious and there's no reason to be anxious. And I get depressed and there's no reason to get depressed. And I feel just like a ball of and there's no real reason for it. So I can't always think on that higher level of, we'll figure out what the problem is and get rid of the problem, because sometimes there's just no problem to get rid of. So I'm just filling those bars. But the issue is that other times that's not helpful. Like, it's showing up where it should be okay. If I take care of myself on this basic level, then things should be fine, and they're not. And it's like, over the past 2 summers, I have had so many charts that I've just kept pinned on my walls, trying to figure out, like, how I'm feeling today, what I need, why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. It's hard. If it's any help, like, I'm actually doing fairly well today. Wasn't super excited for breakfast, but I mean, like I pointed out a couple of times, it's just because I'm eating the same things. By the end of April, I'll be able to switch it up. My appetite will come back. I know that. And I do have a bit of stress going on, but that's because I'm going into my final exam week. Like, between today and tomorrow, my final classes. And then there is stuff for me to do. So, yes, I can understand a little bit of stress. But other than that, like, I'm not feeling anxious for no good reason. There's that little stress anxiety, but I can deal with that. So right now, I'm able to keep functioning and keep that stress down by doing that Sims thing and filling the bars, right? Make sure I'm drinking water, make sure that I'm getting out for some walks, make sure I'm eating even if it's not necessarily appetizing. But I know that I'm going to hit points, particularly this summer, where I'm going to be balancing writing my thesis and working and living back home with my parents, because that's a thing. Like, I know I'm gonna have to figure out a little more beyond that filling the bars. And part of it, I think, is finding activities that I'm going to enjoy doing that are simple things to do. And that's sort of the other thing that brought this up, because between yesterday, this past weekend, okay, I've started, because I can't watch full episodes, but I've started watching, like, I used to watch the show Vikings, and so I've started sort of going back to that and reading up on that and watching that. There's a lot of blood in that show, but that's beside the point, because I found, like, this one video that I thought was, like, an official thing, and it wasn't. But it had this song in the background, and I was like, that's a really cool song. And I looked it up, and I've been listening to it since, like, 7 o'clock last night, except for while I was asleep. So, like, from 7 to, like, 9, and then I started listening to it again this morning. And I sort of realized that that's a thing that annoys a lot of people. Like, me just wanting to listen to a song on repeat. And so I was like, I started scolding myself. Like, that's annoying. I shouldn't want to do that. And then I just had this realization that, one, no one else can hear it. I have my headset on. And two, if I like it, what does it matter? Like I said, it's not hurting anybody else. So why am I getting down on myself for having found this one tendency that doesn't take a whole lot, that doesn't, like, that I don't really have to work hard for, so that I can just relax and enjoy listening to some music. And so that's one of the other things that I'm gonna have to come to terms with, is it is okay to like things that other people don't necessarily like, because in moments of self-care, when it's not hurting anybody else, what does it matter? What does it matter to everybody else if I want to listen to the same song on repeat for 3 hours with my headset on? I really like this song. I don't even know why I like this song, but I like this song. I'm gonna go listen to it some more. Sorry for that blab fest. I have no idea what my head is doing. But like I said, I'm doing good today. I'm filling the bars. I'm acknowledging that I have reasons for some stress. I'm handling it. Talk to you later.